Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is William Michael Forbes. I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for the Soul. It's been a long and interesting night for me. And today we've got Master Jesus with us, and he's going to be with us the whole Shortcuts for the Soul today. And the subject today is called Addiction, Senseless Senses. It's a pretty fascinating thing, addiction. And he felt that it was very important to address that now, especially with the transition in consciousness that's happening on a global scale. And we're just going to do a sound check here and make sure we've got that all in order as well. Um, yeah, Master Jesus, it's literally, I've been writing stuff down for the last 5 minutes, like bullet speed, because he said it's really important we understand addictions. And he gave me a list of things that we conventionally know we are addicted to. But these are things that we all can change. But because we are attached to them as being so much more a source of who we think we are, that we've gotten disconnected from who we are in the process of trying to actually find ourselves through the pleasure of these things that we've become attached to. I want to read a short list of events that a short list of things he gave me that are classified as addictions according to what he said. Um, the obvious ones, and they're in no particular order. They were just came flowing through like literally a minute before I pushed the "Let's Go Live" button. Sugar, caffeine, drugs, alcohol, sex, appearances, time, money, the past, fear, worry, the future, suffering, safety. Those are some of the negatives. And he said he could go on with a bunch more, but he said that was pretty much it. But those are some of the negative ones. So we got about 12 there, I think. And then he said some of the positive ones that we need to learn to get addicted to, that we have to substitute these other ones for, are learning to being in the present moment should be an addiction. We should be addicted to the present moment. I love that. And he told me to put in brackets meditation. Meditation brings you into the present moment. Once you learn how to be in the present moment, you can be in the present moment doing anything. You can do it, being a farmer, planting seeds. You can be in the present moment, walking down the street, listening to birds, being with the people you love. But other things that you talk about that were good things to substitute for addictions are peace, health, happiness, community, love, joy, peace, playfulness. Were some of the ones that he said really need to be substituted. That's the thing. Those are the things you want to become, your senses to become caught up in. He says really important for us to let our senses get possessed by the positive aspects of what he's just outlined here. For the negative ones are the most dominant ones that are in place in your society today. And the sugar one is a really, really big one, of course. We know that sugar is in almost every mass-produced food on the planet. The only time you're not going to get unnatural sugars in food is when you grow it yourself. And he's a big advocate of learning to grow your own food, learning to take care of yourself. If you want to do more good for your earth, then do good for your earth by taking responsibility for a part of it. Take responsibility for a part of the earth, and let her nourish you. Let her nourish you. Caffeine. Now, this one is a really prevalent addiction, and there are more people addicted to caffeine than there are all other addictions combined. There are more people addicted to caffeine than all other addictions combined. And if you don't think caffeine is an addiction, then those of you that are drinking caffeine or coffee or consuming caffeine, stop drinking caffeine for a couple of days. Usually 3 or 4. Usually it takes 24 to 48 hours for the headaches to start. And the headache usually lasts anywhere from 12 to 20 hours when your body starts to withdraw. That's how the body withdraws from caffeine. It's a very subtle addiction. And then see how long you can stay away from coffee, right? Because caffeine being the biggest addiction, he wanted to address it most because many people's sense of well-being is now connected to caffeine. They get their artificial stimulation from this substance called caffeine. Not only that, but many of you will put in sugar with your caffeine. And there's two of the addictions that you have to deal with there. Um, in the liberation of yourself from these addictions, is important you find those things that your body actually needs, that those addictions have been put in place to supplant. He's saying, make no mistake about it, there has been a concerted effort to keep people senseless by their senses. There's a concerted effort to keep people senseless by their senses. And it is important you become aware that your sense is within you, and it is in relationship to the Creator that has given you the life that you are expressing in this physical world. You want to gain some sense from within, not senses from without. For one will always lead you to your truth and your destiny of being. The other one will lead you away from it. And yes, so we're going to be going through this list. Obviously, this is what he wants to do. Now, again, sugar and caffeine are big, and there are healthy substitutes for them. There's cacao, there's maple syrup, there's fruit, there's lots of natural sugar that's really good for your body, that your body will thrive on. The other things that these senseless addictions do is they trick your body into thinking that what it really needs, it doesn't need, and what it doesn't need, it really needs. So, for example, with caffeine, the body gets caffeine's a diuretic, so it makes your body you get rid of fluids faster. A lot of people go to the bathroom right after, usually within a half hour or so after a cup of coffee, which means their body evacuates liquids and solids from the body. And the caffeine artificially stimulates peristaltic movements and other things that force the body to release things. It makes the body get dehydrated. Important to understand that. So when the body gets dehydrated, it needs water. But what most people are conditioned, their energy goes down when the water levels in your body go down, your energy goes down, and the body has a natural state of being in a certain frequency of energy. And it usually gets that from water. But when caffeine is a substitute, a lot of people drink 2, 3, 4, 5 cups of coffee a day. I've seen it. We have a Starbucks in front of our building. I watch it happen all the time. And they're drinking their caffeine and they're excreting their stuff. Now they have to drink more caffeine to try and get hydration in the body. But then the cycle becomes a vicious cycle. And then people go, oh, my energy's not up until I have my coffee in the morning. Right? Caffeine is a serious addiction, though. It's the biggest addiction on the planet today. Yes, I understand. Drugs. Again, he wants me to contextualize this. It's important you understand that do not misconstrue yourself with the sensation of your senses. This is an error in perception that must be corrected. Do not misconstrue yourself with the sensation of your senses. For the senses are one thing, your awareness is another that is separate and distinct from that aspect of your consciousness, your awareness. Drugs and alcohol were the next things on the list. It came. Again, this just came in the order that he gave them to me literally a minute before I came on, which is why there was a bit of a kerfuffle in terms of getting the credits to parole properly. Drugs and alcohol. Again, these are devices that are used, and as you can see in society, there's become more allowance. Now we are allowed to have marijuana, and now they're talking about and THC, and there's other drugs that are being allowed to be sold to humans that will give you a different sensation. And again, he wants me to continually repeatedly stress that it's important you make a distinction between your senses and yourself. For your senses, yourself knows more than your senses know. As yourself, you can know what your senses need, and you can know what your senses do not need. And it is a very simple mechanism in your body that will let you know this. For if there is pain and discomfort in your body, then your senses are getting something that they do not need. And you must become aware of what is really needed for this body that you inhabit, what it really requires. Yes. So drugs. So as you can see, drugs are becoming more widely accepted in society. We now have marijuana dispensaries popping up all over the world, right? Again, he stresses this time of ascension is for you to become aware that you are here because your Creator put you here. to do something, to be something, and to not be distracted by this world, but to offer your light and your love to it and your fellows. Those are, you call your brothers and sisters that are here with you. It's important. So alcohol was another one. And again, alcohol gives the body the sensation of drinking, but it actually causes the body to evacuate fluid from it. That's why people go to the bathroom a lot when they're drinking alcohol. So your body's getting more and more dehydrated. Dehydration reduces healthy electrochemical flow in your body. Dehydration reduces healthy electrical chemical flow in your body. So if your body's not getting enough hydration, enough water, the brain, the organs, the nerves, the glands, all of them will not be able to function at their optimal capacity if they don't have enough water to communicate information electrically from the brain and the body, right? And your body can only do what you program it to do. If you've taught it to drink alcohol, you have to unteach it to drink alcohol. Just like if you've taught it to drink caffeine, you have to unteach it to drink caffeine. Your body is not who you are. Yes, I understand. Thank you. You're laughing because if once you get to that awareness that your body is not who you are, you will understand just how blindly you have been led around by your senses. Your senses have blinded you to who you are. And it is time you remember. We are here to help you remember. We are here to help you remember. Alcohol, sex. Now he laughs when I said sex, and he goes, yes, sex. Sex was predominantly to afford your creator the opportunity to do more work through time, space, and matter through each of you. The reason and purpose for that function was to deliberately and intentionally create form that allowed greater expression of divinity, of you, that which is you, the soul, that you came here to be an extension of this infinite and creative intelligence. So please understand that the process of sex is one that was a sacred covenant between you and your creator to know when and how and whom you would bring through and how you would be with them. The procreative process in the animal kingdom is strictly for maintaining the manifestation of the creative element of the animal kingdom. But the process of procreation in the human kingdom, as it was meant to be, is a process, a simple process of being able to select and choose what will the continuance of my purpose and expression be in this world through another. For what you bring through into your life through the womb, when it comes through your womb, you that bring it through the womb, that allow it to come through, give to it all that you are and all that you have as its essential nature in that form. And what you have become, you give to that which comes after you. What you have become, you will give to that which comes after you. Wow, that's pretty powerful. So we actually, that ties in with DNA too. So we actually hand genetic information to the biology of our children. So when we have a child, whatever mom and dad are carrying around, and he says most people do not choose deliberately to have children. They do not choose why they are having children, and therefore they do not understand the process of being parents. If they understand why they were having children, to raise a citizen that is in a greater extension and expression of love, to raise a citizen that's going to be a greater extension and expression of creative intelligence, improving and enhancing the quality of life for all on this planet. There are very specific things. You may bring forth a musician. You may bring forth a caregiver. You may bring forth another mother. You may bring forth anything, but the decision must be made. It must be a consciously selected decision. And this has been clearly lost for many thousands of years, this process of deliberately understanding the alignment process and the deliberate manifestation of a physical human form for the purpose of extending infinite intelligence into time, space, and matter for a higher creative expression. Many of you have gotten selfish with regard to having children. You want to have children because you want to be a better person, or you want to be a good parent. But the children are here to be guided by you to become that which they are, not to be there to gratify your joy and your happiness. The children are literally the manifestation of the future that you give it, that you enlighten it to, that you expound onto it. Thank you. Okay. He says there is more on this, but we will not cover too much of this today. It's very important that we cover the basics so that you can begin to make a decision that's independent of your senses, that you can make a decision about how you wish to conduct yourself that is based on who you are and what you came here to be. And that we will get to soon. Appearances. He said appearances. We're addicted to appearances. How I look, how I walk, how I talk. He says, do not confuse the concept of cleanliness and orderliness with the concept of which I speak. There are so many unique and distinct individual expressions of this great creator on this dimension in all forms, and each one is delightfully delicious and distinct from the other. And so many of you now wish to remove and erase the distinction that is you. So many of you wish to remove the distinction that is you, that your creator made you to become. And you have the freedom to change it because you have free will, but you are addicted to appearances. And if your appearances are designed specifically for what you shall get because of how you appear, then you have missed the understanding of being who you are and the uniqueness of you and what that means for the world to bring the unique you to this world. There are some of you that are tall and some of you that are short and some of you that smile and some of you that frown. Some of you enjoy, but do not be attached to the appearance of your being other than the fundamental things of cleanliness and orderliness. For you are unique, and there are many of you that will always remain that way. You cannot change that which you are. I found fascinating because this was a big addiction I had. I had an addiction to time, that things had to happen in a certain way, in a certain order, a certain time. And he says there is divine timing. And as you get more aligned, to who you are as an awareness that's connected to an infinite source of love and grace, as you get aligned to that, you do not become concerned with time or timing. You become concerned with being that which you are in each and every moment, which in effect aligns the circumstances and events of time on your behalf. Yes, he's saying there is a time frame for that physical body that will be born and it will age and it will eventually cease to function. But that mechanism is only for the process of your learning to understand your relationship to the creation and how you will participate in, whether you are in that body or another time or another place or another dimension. Very fascinating. Appearances. So again, these are all things that he calls senseless senses, right? These are all these things that he calls addictions are senseless senses. Money. Wow. It was another one. He said money was another addiction. We've been, so again, all of these addictions, he wants me to stress right now, all of these that he calls addictions are things that are predominantly based on outside, some things outside of us that capture our attention and awareness. So we've gotten disconnected from the inside. He said, the addiction to the senses has gotten you detached from your sense, your good sense. He's saying to change the word good to God. He says, your God sense. You want to get reconnected to your God sense inside. Very, very important. The past. I laughed when he said this from the past because it's true. So many of us are, he said, this is the reason why so many of you at war, why so many of you fight, why so many of you disagree with each other. You so often repeat your past. You relive and relive and relive. You keep resurrecting your past to your present. And you're addicted to your past. You're attached to it over and over again. It is why you humans keep repeating wars. It is why you humans keep repeating tragedy and suffering. Because you are addicted to your past. And you keep resurrecting the past into the present of your consciousness. And your consciousness, that all-loving creator, will reorganize that whichever you present to it in the fashion that you present it to it with. I'm going to paraphrase that. So if I'm thinking about my stepfather who did those terrible things to me when I was a child, and I've been thinking about that all my life, the chance I would continue to recreate conditions where I'm experiencing abuse and neglect and suffering, either by my hand or by somebody else's. So it's really important to get detached from your past and get connected to the present. The next thing he put down here is Fear. We are attached to fear. And he wants me to stress with each of these too that all of these things that he had me write down here are things that are based on our five physical senses, that our five physical senses experience this world in a certain way. And our awareness, we get seduced into thinking that what our senses are telling us is absolutely true. That, oh, if it feels good, it must be good. If it feels bad, it must be bad. We've been seduced by the illusion of our senses. Yes. He's saying that the illusion of the senses is simply an illusion. When you begin to step back into yourself and you begin to hold hands with that which beats your heart right now, you will find the freedom and the liberation that you so desperately been seeking. It is not in this world. It is within you, and you will give it to the world, and there will be great freedom here. This is the process, and this is the means and the reason why we are here, all of us, to bring about this freedom. Fear, worry, and look at all the fear that's out there: movies, television, viruses, chemicals in the sky, a cosmic bombardment, meteors. This whole thing of being addicted to fear. He wants me to stress. He really keeps telling me to stress. Important, you understand that all of these things that he's labeled as addictions here are things that your senses have been captured, and you've been entrapped by your senses. You've been entrapped by your senses. So you're disconnected from your sense of who you are and your relationship to the source that's beating your heart and digesting your food and circulating your blood. And it does that for free, right? Breathing your lungs. You don't have to think about breathing. Imagine if we had to think about our own breathing all day long, having to breathe. Can you imagine trying to do that? Consciously breathing X number of times per minute to maintain homeostatic conditions in the body. Can you imagine having to do that? Whoa, I couldn't. Could you imagine, moving your hand 72 times a minute? Can you imagine doing that? Like your heartbeat 72 times a minute? Can you imagine doing that with one hand? Try doing that for an hour. And there's an intelligence in you that's doing it for you for free in your body every minute of every hour of every day. And it loves you. It loves you. It loves all of us. Worry. So we're also addicted to worry. Again, I'm going to stress because he keeps telling me, please, please, please stress. These are all things that are generated from the outside world. If you were connected to the nature of your source, you would never live in fear again. And you will, for those of you that pick up your cross and walk forward. He's saying the cross does not mean a physical cross. It means aligning yourself to that higher place. That's a symbol of the upper part of the cross, right? Aligning yourself. Some call it the Kundalini. You pick it up, you align yourself to this energy, this consciousness that moves through us, that moves and lives and breathes through all of us. Yes. So that's a symbol for picking up the earthly self and carrying it forward, carrying it the way you want to carry it. It's not about, the cross was never meant to be a symbol for sacrifice and suffering and pain. He says, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's not the case. He says, my life was never to be represented as suffering. My life was meant to be represented as love and joy, compassion, peace, kindness, respect, caring, compassion. These are the things that I represented and what I represent these days as well. Do not be fooled to believing that I represented suffering. I have never represented suffering. Wow. Okay, worry. The future. Wow, that was another thing. The future he called that an addiction too. The future, being addicted to the future. What's going to happen next? My goodness, and all of these things, he keeps saying, he's pushing me to keep saying this. All of these things are designed to keep us out of ourselves, looking at what's going on out there, disconnected from the essence, the life, the spirit that's within you that has all knowledge of all things and says, here, just ask and receive, right? It's just very important to get connected to it. And we're going to address that in the second part of this. The other thing he said people are addicted to, suffering. He said it is a pandemic. That is the real pandemic, the belief in suffering. The belief in suffering is the greatest pandemic. If you choose to, yes, he's saying, if you so choose to go within your house where it is quiet and close your doors and windows and listen to even the heart in your chest beating, that which beats in there loves you. It would not be doing this if it did not think you were worthy of its life. Surrender your suffering because it does not want you to suffer. But he's saying there are steps that you will need to take to end your suffering and your addictions. There are steps that we all need to take to end our suffering and end our addictions. And the last thing that he said he could write a lot more of things, but he said these were the primary ones that 92% of the people on the planet are struggling with right now. And the last one is safety. We're addicted to safety. And that one surprised me when he said safety. I went, safety? Why safety? And he said, because people have forgotten the limitless power within them that wants them to achieve great things, greater things than you can imagine. There are some among you doing this now that are adventurous and explorative, that risk their life, their individual expression to express this infinite potential through them. Yes, he calls them explorers and adventurers. Explorers and adventurers, those that dare to say and speak and do those things that ennoble life, that enhance it, that imbue it with goodness and joy and peace. It's important you understand. Very important you understand that. So those were the ones that he gave me. He said there's many others, but those are the fundamental ones. I will read them over again, just really quickly. So these are the ones that he said these are the addictions to what he calls addictions to senseless senses: sugar, caffeine, drugs, alcohol. I know he didn't mention food, and I don't know why, but he just did not mention food. He's saying because if you correct any of these, then you will naturally know what is right for you to do. He's saying you'll understand this in the second part. Sugar, caffeine, drugs, alcohol, sex, appearances, time, money, the past, fear, worry, the future, suffering, and safety. Those are the primary addictions that most of us have to deal with. And what's really funny is on the second thing, which is what we need to do to get back into alignment, what we need to focus on to alleviate ourselves from our addictions. And he says, if you do these things, they're very simple. You will begin to change your mind, and you will change your body, and it will begin to represent who you truly are as you align yourself to these ideas here. Yeah. I was just saying to him just now, I was saying, but can we not be addicted? Are we not addicted to these things? If we change over these things, are we not addicted to them? He said, yes, but this is very different. The energy, the quality of what it gives you life more abundantly. So on the positive side, he says, we need to become addicted to the present moment. When he said that as the first one, I went, of course, becoming addicted to here and now, right now, this moment you have, where life is flowing through you, and every cell in your body is living and dynamic and being all around you is in motion. The present moment is alive and present, and it's dynamic and it's powerful. So the present moment, and he asked me to say, and what you need to say for the present moment to help restore yourself and your house to the present moment, you need to learn a process that this one calls meditation. But it is simply the act of withdrawing your attention from this world and restoring your connection to the source that beateth your heart. Really cool. The present moment was the first one. And again, he emphasizes the concept of the present moment being very, 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 very important. Yes. So in our courses, we teach meditation. We teach the fundamental steps of learning to meditate and get your mind quiet and still, and your body subservient to your awareness. So your body's not going, I want sugar, I want caffeine, because it's addicted to them, right? You go, oh no, you're not going to have it. You're sorry. It's like a little child. You're going to take a meditation. You learn to become the awareness that directs the activities of the body and mind and is no longer subjective. And remember, the world has captured you through your senses. And there's a systemic effort to keep you captured in your senses. And it's only you that can liberate yourself from that process. He's saying he cannot and will not judge those that do wrong. He will not judge those, for to judge them would be to judge himself thusly, for they are in their own turn serving that same creator that we all serve. They cannot escape that they are serving it too. Okay. So learning to meditate. If you can't, there's lots of videos on YouTube, different meditation groups. Start learning to still your mind, quiet your body, bring yourself within, connect to the spirit within you. Feel it. It's within you. He says you can feel it here and here and here and here. You can feel it. He's saying from the heart up is your Father's house. From the heart down is your house. I love that. From the heart up is your Father's house, right? From the heart down is this house, this world house. Okay. So sometimes when you're not listening, you can get I can lose stuff. Okay. Peace. He says we need to become addicted to peace. He says all of these things will proceed from the first. All of these things will proceed from the first. Peace. When you learn to get your mind and body still and quiet, and you can do that in the course of your day. If you get up in the morning and you make it part of your daily regime, get up, quiet your mind, keep it quiet for 30, 40 minutes a day. Train your mind and body to be quiet so that you can think. You can't think with your mind going blah, 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 right? You want to become addicted to peace, because a different energy will come into your mind and body when you're in that energy of peace. He says we also need to become addicted to health, become addicted to the vitality, the joy of the spirit as it lives and moves through every molecule of your being. Learning to become addicted to health. He says those things will happen just from the simple process of learning to rehydrate your body. Learning to put proper foods in it. And I like what he said earlier about learning to grow your own food. There's technologies now that you can get where you can literally grow your vegetables in your home, a corner of your living room. Get a grow light, you can literally grow fresh vegetables in your own home. And it doesn't have to be it can be a short. It can save you a lot of aches and pains, literally, because you're going to be putting something. When you put things that are living in your body, you give more life to your body. He said that to me for a long time. So you want to become addicted to health. Things that empower you, water, fresh air, getting out in nature, going out and grounding, getting your feet on the earth and feeling that electrical connectivity between your physical body and feeling the awareness that you get from that relationship between your body and the earth. It's a beautiful thing. And then you start connecting to nature spirits, and then you start connecting to tree spirits, you start connecting to the fairies and the different beings that are in this world with us that we don't see with our physical eyes or our physical ears because we haven't trained our awareness to see beyond them. We're so addicted to our senses, right? We got to break that addiction. The other thing he said to become addicted to is happiness. Become addicted to happiness. It's no different than being addicted to suffering, except you're just going to be feeling good instead of feeling bad. It's the same thing. You just have to change it from suffering to happiness, but you must release your suffering. And the only way to release your suffering is to go within, to connect to your father, your mother. Becoming addicted to happiness. And another one that surprised me, he said, we need to become addicted to community. That one's like, whoa, like even just saying it now, I can just feel the energy. We need to become addicted to community. And when I asked him what's community, he says, community is the union of many for the respect and honor of all. I couldn't say it any better myself, right? That community is everybody getting together and respecting and loving each other, getting together for the respect and love of all, right? And of course, we can't have that until we're addicted to peace, right? And we can't have that until we know how to be unaddicted. But look at this world now. This world is There's mechanisms in this world that want you to be addicted, that want you to be addicted. You do the statistical work on how many people drink caffeine in the world today, or alcohol, and now you'll see the numbers of marijuana going up. There are things that are designed to seduce you into your senses, so you become senseless, and you want to break that. And that's what we're here to do today, and from this time forth. Like I said, I've been up all night with him chatting with me about this. Community and love. He says we need to become addicted to love. And when I ask him, well, how do we explain an addiction to love? Love is the unrestricted giving and receiving of information that ennobles and benefits both the giver and the receiver. When I ask him what type of information, he means they can be words, they can be actions, they can be simple thoughts, they can be emotions, they can be yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. So love, become addicted to love. My definition of love is maximum pleasure without hurting the expression of myself and my interaction with other people in a way that gives me maximum pleasure without hurting anybody else or myself. Right? Purpose of life is to obtain maximum pleasure without hurting ourselves or anybody else. Two more here. Joy. Become addicted to joy. Become addicted to joy. And how do you become addicted to joy? Well, you got to find your joy. And you look at some of the beings, that the highly expressive creative beings. You often hear me say, because he's one of the high functional beings, Elon Musk, living his joy. You just have to watch that man speak. Anybody living their joy is inspiring. They're uplifting. They're empowering. They're saying, let's be more. Let's do more. Let's express more. Let's be our maximum. They're not saying, oh, you should live in fear. Better be careful of this. Take this inoculation. It's going to make you better. It'll protect you. No, go and explore. Don't be addicted to safety. Right? You don't want to be engaging with people that want to restrict you to fear. That list of things are addictions. Go over this video again, like it, share it, subscribe it to the channel, share this information, because then once you understand that these are addictions, sugar, caffeine, drugs, alcohol, sex, appearances, time, money, the past, fear, worry, the future, suffering, and safety, any of these things that you would be told that would be beneficial for you, that would limit you, anything that would limit you to being less of what you are, is somebody trying to control you and manipulate you in this physical dimension. Yes, he's saying to me that is he says that what I call the devil, that which would seek to lessen that which you are in any way, shape, or form. Wow, he told me it was going to be a powerful day today. So the positive ones, and again, I asked why so few positives and why so long the negatives. He said because the positives don't need as much to be effective. All of these negatives, if you look at the two lists that were written down, right? And remember, the top two on this side are part of this side, and the top, all of these. Look at half the size. He says because when you start to engage the truth and the light of your being, it is much simpler to live, to be, and to do. But it is very difficult to live a life when you're addicted to your suffering, when you're addicted to these things we've mentioned. It is very difficult to find the peace and the happiness. Wow. So that's where he wanted to start the day off today, and I have no idea where we are time-wise. I'm not attached to that. I just want to make certain. Wonderful. Look at that. We still got 18 minutes left, so we can take questions and answers. But it's important to understand. Okay, I understand. He's saying, please understand, dear ones. This is so important. I did not come here to judge you. I did not come here to judge those who would harm you. I came here to bring you a truth that you may choose or not choose. For there is the freedom you have to be and do whatever you will choose to be and do while you are in this form. And it is not mine nor the Creator's will that you be or do what we would expect of you, but that you find that place in your heart where you are ennobled in the awareness of your own being, where you feel the limitlessness of what you are and the limitlessness of the love that is you. The conditions that we called addiction today are the limitations that keep you bound to the flesh exclusively. And so when you go to journey beyond it, you will not know you have even left. Wow. That's pretty cool. So if I'm so addicted to my senses, then when my physical body ceases to exist, will I know I still exist? And the answer they've always told me is no. You will be aware, but you won't be aware that you're aware. You'll still be conscious awareness, but you won't be conscious that you're aware because you're so attached to your identity being a physical mechanism. That's why meditation, and all three of our courses, meditation is essential for literally getting your awareness detached from the governance of the senses so that you become the governor of your home rather than the servant of the senses, right? So that's, wow. Again, thank you. I want to say thank you, Master Jesus, for being here today, because this has just been like mind-blowing for me as well, to allow him to come through. And we all have access to these beings, Master Jesus or Buddha, any of them. We all have access to them. It's a matter of getting detached from our preconceived notions about what we've been told we can or can't do, what we are been told we can or can't be, what we've been told we should be able to hear or see. There are so many things that you can see and hear that are beyond what your eyes and ears will ever tell you. And only you can go on that journey of discovery and liberation and freedom to know that you're a miracle. You're an extension of an infinite intelligence, and that's miraculous. Okay, I'm going to scroll up to the top because Master Jesus just asked me to flow with this today, and that's exactly what I'm doing. He just said flow with it, so I did, and yes, he said I did a good job. Oh wow! Good morning, everybody. Master Jesus just wanted me to jump right in and let him flow with this, and that's exactly what we did. So we're going to scroll down now. Hi, everybody. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share. Oh, I injured my thumb last night making organic fudgicles. Oh my God, the best fudgicle ever. I made with maple syrup and raw cacao and coconut milk. And oh my gosh, I'm going to have one after I'm finished. Natural, healthy sugars, best fudgicle ever. It's the first time we made them last night. Because we occasionally I'll get these urges for sugar, and I'm going, what can I do? So I'll have apple or an orange, I'll have something to satisfy it. But I remember, for some reason, the image of a fudgicle came to me, and same thing happened to Norma. She got this image for fudgicles. Next thing you know, we're making fudgicles out of natural, healthy things. So you can find healthy sugars for your body. It doesn't have to be a big suffering process to make the transition. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Angela. Let's see, questions. Hello, Allison again. Wow, addicted to the present moment. Yes. Sorry. I'm just communicating. There is so much joy and love being radiated out to all of you from Master Jesus today. That is just delightful. And just, I hope you're receiving it. I hope you're feeling it. I hope you get that sense of what it is for you as an energy that you can experience, because your experience is your teacher, not what I say or what they communicate through me. Your experience is your teacher, and he's just telling me to tell you, he's sending love out to all that are watching this today. Even if you're watching the replay, you'll get this vibration if you're allowing yourself to be open to it being transmitted through the system. Okay. Wow. Oh, you're very welcome, Gina. Question from Manoj. Please ask Jesus if he can give me a simple technique or method to help me develop my third eye and be more open to the spirit energies. He's saying, dear one, you must quiet this, make this very quiet, and ask for whom you will speak with. In your silence, ask for whom you will speak with, and do not expect to hear with these ears or see with these eyes. Listen inwardly, listen within. Okay. I'll repackage that slightly and say, when you get your mind and your body still and quiet, when your mind and your body are still and quiet, what you want to do is move your awareness into the space in the middle of your head, and you want to ask for whatever angel or guide you want to communicate to. You want to ask for them, and then just listen, because your brain and body are hardwired by the environment to perceive information at its level. So you might get a symbol or an image or a feeling or a hot or a cold. Your body will represent the awareness of what that energy is you call in, whether it's Buddha or Jesus or Joan of Arc or your grandfather, your brother, your sister, the priest, the minister, rabbi, whoever you call in, will come as a sensation that you're in the initial stages, where your body will interpret it the way it can. And then you learn to go beyond the way the body perceives to get the deeper layers of energy that are embedded within the signal that's being transmitted to you. Much the same way as they could embed a subconscious suggestion in old movies in the 50s and get people to go out and buy Coca-Cola and popcorn in massive numbers just by putting a quick flash of Coke and popcorn on the screen, right? So too, information that's downloaded into you from these divine beings that you work with, and we all have them around us. Not just divine beings, we also got beings that are, everybody's divine in reality. The truth is, we are all divine extensions of an infinite intelligence. That's the reality. You have to literally become aware of listening to the embedded signal in the sensational vibrations that the body gives you from those. Like Master Jesus comes through with intense heat for me, right? So I feel a lot of heat, like I'm sweating. And that type of heat, I know that to be the vibration of his energy. And Archangel Michael is much more intense and forceful. Metatron pushed me, and all these different beings will interact with your system. They don't do that so much anymore because I'm now familiar with them. It's like I finally know who they are. They don't need to keep, wearing the red shirt for me to know it's them, right? Because you start to know them. You become familiar with them. So Manoj, you want to make certain, get your mind still, and then ask for whom you wish to speak to, and be very in the silence. Pay attention to what comes. But again, I would recommend you come and take our courses in September and learn how to do this. We walk everybody for 3 weeks. We have our mediums, and we walk everybody gently through a process of learning to sense and articulate the way you experience and receive the connection you have to them. And we are all connected to all. Even we are connected to each other right now, even whether you're aware of that or not. Magical Buddha's question: how do I train myself to only see divinity in others? That's an interesting question. His answer to you is, you must become that which you wish to see. And when you are that which you wish to see, then that is all you will see. When you are what you are, then that is all you will see. Become that which you wish to see. If you wish to see love, then become love. If you wish to see peace, then become peace. If you wish to be love, then become love. Wow. Simple. Yes, it is, Gina. You can actually do that. I just saw that comment. You can literally say here and now. Here and now. And anytime your mind tries to go off in a different direction, just go here and now. That's a really simple tool. I like that. Thank you, Gina. Wow. Wow. I'm just, any messages, Kai is asking, any messages from Source or my guides? Master Jesus is laughing, and he's saying, have you not heard me? Do you not hear me? Can you feel me in your heart? Is this not enough for you, dear one? These are the keys to the kingdom. These are the keys to your freedom. Is not that a great gift to receive? Diane is asking, what about smoking? Well, that goes without saying. I smoked for 30 years, Diane, from age 6 to age 36. I stopped smoking when my second child was born. And I want to say it is an addiction. Anything that keeps you entrapped, that consumes your time, will restrict you from being what you are here. And one of the things I learned about myself, what I gained from personal experience through addiction to tobacco, was that it wasn't the tobacco I was seeking. It was the the urge that I had for tobacco, whenever it came as an epiphany one day, that I'm wondering, I have this urge for cigarettes, but what is this feeling inside me for this cigarette? What is this urge inside me? And I made the conclusion that the urge for the tobacco wasn't for the tobacco. It was something within me seeking to emerge. And when I went, I wonder if this is something that's trying to emerge, what is its expression? And all of a sudden I got a picture of a pen and paper in front of in my mind's eye. And then I began writing. That's when I began writing. At age 36, I started writing. I've got lots of writing that's unpublished work, but I started writing like crazy. And the most beautiful, wondrous thing. And then the desire for nicotine just dropped off. Literally within a couple months, it was gone. Because I found what the natural energy within me was seeking to express as being. But yes, tobacco is an addiction too. It's got uses ceremonially, but it's an addiction too. Anything that takes your attention away from who you are as a being, what you came here to do, what you came here to give the world, anything that takes you away from that is an addiction. In my own personal definition, he's saying, Master Jesus is saying he agrees with that. Really cool. Wow. You're very welcome. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to be here with you guys. It really, really is. If you have a question that you want answered today, please use the super chat so I can get notified of it right away. Because I don't think we'll be getting to everything today, but we'll do the best that we can. Wow. Thank you very much, Gina. Yeah, proshiko, eh? Okay. If you, he wants me to say something about that. If you understood the limitless joy that is available to you, you would never desire anything lesser. Again, when you discover the limitless joy that's available to you, you will never desire anything lesser again. And it is very true. Okay, a question. Here we go. Question from Miriam. Could you please ask my spirit guide their name? What is my purpose? From South Africa. Wow. It's funny. Master Jesus wants to step in and say, have you not heard me? Have you not heard these words to you? Your purpose is within you. You've been seeking it elsewhere, but you will not find it. Do these things I have suggested to you today. Go into this place of silence and peace and ask to be revealed, for it to be revealed to you. It will be revealed to you. You will never be denied if you are asking. You will never be denied. Right? He wants to add, so many of you seek to find your answers in this world when they are all written in your heart. You just have to open your heart and read. Wow. Thank you so much. Yeah. Open your heart and read. Thank you very much. So that was just very intense. Oh, yes, Kimberly, we will post the fudgicle recipe. I'll post it. I'm not sure I'll post it. I'll tell you what, on tomorrow's Shortcut for the Souls, we will provide the recipe for everybody if they want to know how to make completely natural, healthy, organic, the best fudgicles ever in the world. Katie's asking, how can we stop idolizing ascending masters? Well, he's saying right now, this is a choice. You can look at us as something to idolize, or you can recognize that sometimes a student needs a teacher in order to become a teacher. We are not here to be idolized. We are here simply to ennoble ourselves in the expression that we came here to do as fully and completely as we can. And what we are is what we offer up to all others. In other words, we offer you the mastery that is yours, and you may receive it from within you, or you may receive it from without you. One source is different than the other, but the source is always within you. The great master that beats your heart, that digests your food, that circulates your blood is within you. You need no other. You need no other. Wow. Yeah, tobacco was caffeine. Believe it or not, caffeine was the hardest thing for me. Caffeine was the hardest thing for me. Uh, uh, Artist girl question: is this what Master Jesus meant by keeping the eye single on love? Yes, absolutely. Let thine eye be single, and thy whole body shall be filled with light. When you connect to your source, and when you feel its love, when you feel its love, and you allow the vibration of its love to move through and into your body, you will get ideas and information and inspiration and guidance and direction, as much as we can from our guides and our angels, but from the great source. And it's not just the one source, there are other sources greater than it too, in consciousness. But relatively speaking, this one great source will offer you all things, and it does anyway. It will even give you suffering if you ask for it. Wow. We got about a minute left here. Okay. Question from Love Doggies: what can I do to improve my life? Take our courses. You want to improve your life? Come and take our courses in September. I'm telling you, these courses were designed by the masters. Come and take these courses. They're simple, they're easy to follow, they're practical, no complexity, and they're very, very cost efficient. Only $199 for a single course for 3 weeks of guidance and support. You're not going to find this anywhere else on the planet. And that's what they told us, to set it up this way so that more people come to it, because the ascension process is bringing literally 1 billion people into conscious awareness right now. So very important. Take the course. If you want to learn, take the course. Wow, wonderful. Thank you, Melina. I appreciate that donation. That sticker, super sticker of 3 red hearts. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Miriam. Last question here from Vanessa. What's my guardian angel's name? Wow. Master Jesus says, if you want to know who this one is, they go by the name of Elijah. And it is the Elijah that you have heard of. Yes. Sit in quiet contemplation under a tree and call their name. Call and speak. Why are you using call and speak? Use your words. Call in thought. So think their name and speak their name. Elijah. That's fascinating. I've never heard that one before for somebody. I have heard of Elijah though. Okay, guys. Yeah. So let's cap this off. Very important to surrender your addictions. Identify them, let them go, replace them with things that are real. We are so addicted to the senselessness of our senses that we've lost our good sense. We've lost our connection to community. We've lost our connection to love. And as a species, we've been seduced into believing that fear and anger and resentment and sensations have more governance over what we're doing. Let's see here. Guess what? The magic goddess of my home brought me the recipe for the fudge. So it's 1 can of full fat coconut milk. 1 can of full fat coconut milk. Half a cup of raw cacao powder. 1/3 cup of pure maple syrup. And 2 teaspoons of natural pure vanilla. Make sure it's pure, not fabricated. We grind up vanilla beans to make real vanilla. And you basically blend them together, and then get your little popsicle things out, and away you go. You just fill them up and put your little popsicle things in. In fact, let me just show you before I go. I think you all have a right to see what this delicious stuff looks like. So this is one. This is the one I'm going to have after. So right, it's got to be run underwater. I don't want to pull the stick out, but this will make the best fudgicles. So that's our fudgicles. So there's the recipe. See how that happens? Ask and you shall receive, right? But you want to support this work, please become a member of my Patreon page, patreon.com/WilliamMichaelForbes. For a small monthly donation, you can support this work happening every day. It's an honor and privilege to serve you guys. I appreciate the donations today on the super chats and the super stickers. I really appreciate all the support you guys give us. Get this information out there. This is for humanity. This is this time we're in. This is the most magnificent time we have as a species right now to do some amazing and wondrous things. So remember, surrender your addictions, return your sense to yourself, become full of sense again. Get some good sense in you. We love you guys. Want you guys to have a wonderful, a joyful day, and it can only get better, right? When you start walking the journey, it will only get better. So much love, everybody. Bye for now.